So Catherine asks, I have a pre-1983 component. Please explain how putting a lump sum in before retirement will save me tax dollars. Now, this is a specific strategy that's not really relevant to most Christian Super members, but Catherine is actually a member of what we can call a defined benefit scheme. Now, the actual fund that she is involved with, though, I followed up with a question, is the Gold State and West State Super Funds. And this is like what we call a GESB, GESB fund, and it's for those people that are employed by the Western Australian government. So the Gold State and West State funds are classed as untaxed superannuation funds. Most accumulation funds, like Christian Super, are what we call taxed funds. So you pay the 15% contributions tax when you put money into it. Well, concessional contributions into it. These funds are what they call untaxed. The contributions tax of 15% has not been incurred on contributions into these funds, and the benefits can be accessed when you permanently retire on or after your preservation age. So you have to permanently retire to access the funds. West State superannuation benefits can be rolled over to another complying fund once you have ceased employment from the WA public sector. And Gold State superannuation funds, this is a defined benefit fund. So this fund, the benefit of this fund is based on a formula, which is the completed month of service divided by 12 times 20% times the average contribution rate divided by 5 times the final remuneration. I think that might be an average of 2 years, that final remuneration. And the other thing about West State Super, it has no limit on the salary sacrifice contributions. So those concessional contribution limits of $25,000 under 50 and $50,000 over 50 don't apply. So how does, and what Catherine is referring to is the wash down strategy. Now this is a particular strategy that is available in this unique circumstance where you can make a non-concessional contribution to your West State Super account, and possibly up to $450,000 if you're able to bring forward 2 years contribution limits. And based on a particular formula, these non-concessional contributions can increase the tax-free portion of the fund to the point that when you roll over your Gold State Super to your West State Super, you can effectively reduce the tax payable to zero. So what happens? The strategy involves you're putting a large non-concessional contribution into your West State fund, then ceasing employment and reaching a preservation age, then rolling over the Gold State fund into West State. The mix of those components then, based on the unique formula of pre-1983 days and post-1983 days, means that you could actually abolish all the tax that's payable when you either withdraw the money or roll it over to a taxed fund like Christian Super or GESB Super, which is a taxed accumulation fund similar to Christian Super. So it's very hard to explain the intricacies of that, but basically the increased non-concessional contributions basically reduce the taxed components of the fund based on your eligible start date or just the components of the fund, and then it can either abolish the tax that you pay on rollover or it can significantly reduce it. You really need specific advice and we can provide that to you, but basically that's the strategy. You need the specific dates and the specific amounts to specifically show you how that works. But basically, a contribution can reduce the tax significantly. There is a warning though. There was an Australian Taxation Office interpretive decision in 2011, number 64, where they specified that the contribution, these non-concessional contributions, will not reduce the element, the untaxed in the fund, of the super lump fund benefit paid to the member. Now, we've asked the question of GESB about this, and they're still actually paying or processing these wash down strategies, like I've just explained. But it is a bit of a warning that the government has actually said that that it shouldn't work, but GESB is actually continuing to process those. So just be aware of that interpretive decision. But at the moment, GESB appear to be processing them. Hopefully that's answered your question, Christine, I think it was. Catherine, sorry. Hopefully that's answered your question, Catherine.